You're listening to a Comics XF podcast.
X-Men. Get it!
Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Battle of the Atom. And this is your weekly X-Men podcast where we rank every story from A to Z.
I'm Adam.
And I am currently tied up as if I were a present and my head was the bow. Which is wild because that's like a Mariushka doll of concepts on me. Because I, the bad boy of X-Men podcasting, am a present wrapped around a werewolf now.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, you also popped out of a giant Jack-in-the-Box after I turned the handle several times. Like, what's going on here, Zach?
I don't fully know, especially because anytime that I, slapped my quarter up there, I did not see a Jack-in-the-Box at my local arcade. I did not see but like a whack-a-mole, maybe.
Well, the rules are different in Murder World, Zach, and this week we are talking about arcade stories. We are talking about Murder World. We've had quite a few arcade episodes at this point, haven't we?
I don't know if we had arcade episodes, or has arcade just kind of shown up as he does?
I feel like we've had at least 2 episodes that have been like kind of around arcade stories, but maybe I'm wrong.
Look, I'm not doubting it. I just don't remember.
He comes back quite a bit.
We've done 436 other ones of these. We have.
Here's what I'm going to say.
I'm not writing it down, though.
Here's what I'm going to say. Over the years,
what are you going to say?
Arcade, I have found myself enjoying more and more over the years. Like, I think I really do enjoy his whole thing when it's done correctly. And we'll get into that this episode.
I'm going to talk about this more and more as the episode goes on, but I am not an arcade hater. I want to be clear. I don't hate arcade. I do think that how you utilize arcade is critically important, and many folks are bad at it, and that's not crazy. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are just bad at writing comics. Or, as Adam said, as we were discussing the X-Men '97 season 2 trailer right before the show, Zach, it's never going to be what you want it to be, and that's also true about arcade.
Okay,
and also most X-Men related things in existence.
Sure.
Again, with the exception of a brief window from 2019 to, in reality, maybe 2021.
Listen, I'm glad you had that window into greatness. Zach.
Very few people even get that. So, I am #blessed.
This episode is also #blessed because we have somebody who requested this, right?
That's right, Adam. So over on patreon.com/Battle of the Atom, where people normally reach deep down into their hearts and pocketbooks to toss a couple of coins into our coffers and support the show, support the local comic book media that you entrust your Monday morning commute to. Now, are we your first listen on Monday morning? Don't tell us. I don't want to know. I know of one person who that is true for.
There are a bunch of folks out there, and we're their first listen. I know it. So for those of you,
I don't know. I mean, Jay and Miles still have a couple of months left, so we gotta displace that, and then we're back to number 2, baby.
They're doing great work. Who requested this?
I say this as a fan and lover of that show. I would be listening to that one before ours, but I also lived ours, so it's not a competition.
That's true. Wait a minute. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Yes. You did tell me before we started recording that because of your technological situation this week, you do not have access to the list. Do you have access to who this request was from?
Yes, but I had to, instead of going to a tab on the well-documented Excel spreadsheet that we've been using for quite some time, folks, this is going to be an interesting episode. For various reasons, I am without a laptop or any sort of computerized workstation today, and was blessed with the fact that Zencaster.com was not blocked on my 7-year-old's school-issued Chromebook.
I love this
which
so
is how,
much.
Which is how I am delivering today's episode. However, Microsoft OneDrive is blocked on their school-issued Chromebook, which means I had to put it up on my tablet, which does not have full access to editing rights in Excel or a good spreadsheet editor on it. So I just had to scroll in print view down to page 68 out of 71 to figure out this information. So while I have access to the list, Adam's going to be driving the list this week because he has a web browser with it.
Yeah.
I also, if you want me to know random details about the issues, I didn't write it down. I'm just going off what I can pull up on my tablet real quick. So like, that's what we're dealing with this week. And if anyone complains, I won't hear about it because I'm an internet hermit. But if you did want to reach me and complain, this would be a weird thing to do, but you could go over to patreon.com/Battle of the Atom. If you give me $5, I'll let you complain to me for like, I'll let you get at least 4 complaints in at the $5 a month level. That's an unstated rule. But if you do stay at that $5 a month level for a year, and you are a long-term patron of ours, then you get a chance to double dip. Maybe you've already created a whole bespoke episode experience around one of your suggestions, and you're saying, hey, I'd love another shot at this, just like Patreon supporter. Nope.
That is not who it is, and I don't even think this is a double.
I'm on the wrong freaking page of this. It's Adam. It's so.
This is why I asked if you wanted me to read.
This is cumbersome. This is
too
heavy.
Who it is?
I don't. Wait. Have you
it's
had
Adam
this whole time?
It's Adam Nudie.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam Nudie, so much. Adam Reck, thank you for letting me dance like a fool in front of everybody. Also, just to be clear, Adam, and also listeners, on the Excel spreadsheet, we have not numbered everything because Excel in the rows already has numbers. So if you want to know the dirty secret about our Excel spreadsheet, I just put all of the comics in a list in column A, and I just look at what the row is because that way I never have to refresh. And could I write a formula that fixes this? Maybe, but this works for us every time I have Excel, except for now where it just gives me a formatted list. Adam, you can't see this. I don't know why I'm holding this tablet up to the camera, but it gives me just a list of these. So what comics are on the list? I don't know. I don't know what number they are. Could I look at the website that we have for this? Probably. That's a good second thing. Anyway, I am not operating under my best technical experience as I normally do. Very much unlike Arcade, who always is at the top of his game.
Absolutely. And we are going to see some top form Arcade Murder World stuff in 2 issues of a book we generally don't talk about that often. But these are 2 issues that we somehow have not talked about yet. This is Excalibur number 4 and 5, written, of course, by Chris Claremont, pencils by Alan Davis, inks by Paul Neary, and colors by Glynis Oliver. And of course, you got Tommy Orrs on those letters.
You gotta have those Tommy Orrs letters, especially when you talk about, the cover to number 4, which might be the thesis statement on Excalibur from
Claremont.
It's great. And Davis.
So for people who haven't seen this cover, what does it look like, Zach? It's fantastic.
It is a black field with a spotlight on a janitor who is just brushing up some debris and says, in text balloons, cover. You mean the huge, muscular, heroic males and beautiful, erotic females engaging in gratuitous violence against sinister criminal superbrains and their ugly, stupid henchmen and exotic, moody, high-tech suburban bases in the eternal struggle to prevent the good being washed away in a tide of chaotic evil mayhem? Sorry, mate. You have to look inside for all that.
That was fun. That went from like British to Australian to...
Look, I'm not I'm not good at
I'm
accents.
not judging. I thought it was a good experience, but
I
it
eventually was like, all right, this is what Dick Van Dyke sounds like,
you
and that's what I
got
was
it.
going.
You didn't go full Cockney. I love this cover. I remember it from when it came out, and I remember laughing at it because I was like, this is just silly.
Excalibur really is Chris Claremont doing a silly one.
It is, and these two issues in particular are faves of Anna, who remembers
Dr. Anna Papard
Dr. Anna Papard.
From the podcast Oh Gosh, Oh Golly, Oh Wow, and also from your marriage certificate.
Yes. Who did say to me when she found out we were reading these, she was like, it is interesting that Excalibur from like Sword is Drawn through issue number 5 really is like perfect. And then everything else happens with Excalibur. Because these two issues are excellent. It involves Courtney Ross getting abducted by the Crazy Gang, who then take her to
the Crazy Gang. For people who don't know, are like Alice in Wonderlandy guys.
Yes, it results in Arcade taking Courtney Ross to Murder World. Brian, who is still very much enamored with Courtney Ross, gets the Excalibur folks involved in going there. I'm just going to do a quick thing and then we can go back to some of the specifics. The Crazy Gang and Excalibur gets body swapped. And there is a lot of really great, just physical comedy, sex farce stuff here that's just played really, really intelligently and so well. The art is absolutely beautiful. It just it nails it on every level. I think it's fantastic.
I love Alan Davis's art on this. I think Claremont is just having a blast while also bringing some really intense character moments in here.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think one thing that has been lost from the decompression of comics, even if we are in a more compressed era than we were, say, 20 years ago, we're still super decompressed compared to late 80s. I think one of the biggest victims of that has been these kind of character moments, because if you can't do as much in terms of the dialogue, if you're trying to speed that up, then you can't spend 2 pages, or you can't just take 2 pages to do the shopping trip of Kitty and Rachel, but then put what in a modern comic would be 6 pages worth of dialogue in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like,
a ton.
To give them something, because all that dialogue is building on one another, and you could argue that you should do visual storytelling more on that. But if your page count per issue is still capped at 20 pages, well, then you're getting less story per comic.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting trade-off. And we've talked about like comics that we love that are more art focused and maybe they're a quick read, but like you get that visual storytelling through it. And it is one of the things that we did trade off.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in no place is that more exemplified than in the 3 pages where Kurt is installing this acrobatic rig inside the lighthouse, and he and Megan have this absolutely perfectly drawn interaction where they are acrobatically flying around the room, really connecting emotionally, potentially romantically. And
you say potentially romantically. She straddles him, comes in for a kiss, turns blue, and then they hear Brian, and she's like, wait, nope, I'm dating him.
Yes. And throughout this sequence, you're not only getting their dialogue back and forth, but you're also getting the internal thought bubbles of what's going on inside each one of their heads. And so you're really getting the emotional content of what is happening here based on both the dialogue, the thoughts, and the artwork. It adds so much. We learn so much about these characters and where they're at and who they are through a scenario like that.
Because what you get is Kurt not doing anything different than he normally does. He's just flirting.
Mm-hmm.
But because Megan is such an empath, she is being super receptive to it in a way that could feel odd if Kurt wasn't just the most charming guy out there. But Kurt's also feeling, he's like, oh no, she is kind of in a weird, vulnerable place. and she is also dating Brian. So like, I'm kind of a trash person for doing this. Now, the other thing that comes up in this is early Excalibur. Brian's the worst.
Oh yeah. He's supposed to
And
be
he's
with Megan
horrible to Megan.
and is just rushing off to go save Courtney Ross as if, she's the love of his life.
And Megan's upset about,
Understandable.
because like she can tell, but Brian's not happy with his relationship with Megan. That's the other thing. Like, yeah, he's being kind of callous to her, but also he's like, he's coming to terms with, it's kind of weird that like we don't have a lot in common, and she's kind of young and naive and kind of stupid. Like, and I'm a doctorate student in physics, and like it's just we aren't a super great compatible mix. I'm not sure if my heart's in this relationship. And hey, look at this hot professional from my past who's coming back. This is stirring up some feelings in me.
Yeah. And
I can empathize with Brian's position, even if he is acting like an absolute cad.
Well, and the other fun thing about this is that we're only on issues 4 and 5 of this book, but in issue 5, because of the body swap, Alan Davis really gets to do this awesome thing where he's doing the body acting, right? The posture, the gait, the essence of the character, but he's drawing them in the bodies of the crazy gang, and it works to the point where even without their dialogue, you can kind of tell who's who. And you can kind of tell who Crazy Gang is inside the Excalibur bodies just by the way that he draws it. It's a really, really sophisticated demonstration of his skills, but also just they have such a mastery of who these characters are already. Kitty is kind of playing the interloper here and disrupting everything. She's breaking machines. She's putting Arcade into the murder world situations. She's helping Courtney switch everybody's bodies back. It's action packed. You get these scenes like Nightcrawler, who is fighting Jester, except they're body swapped, and Courtney is tied to, the conveyor belt going towards the big giant saw blade, like in the old silent movies. I love this stuff. It's so well laid out. The fight choreography is strong. There's just really masterful storytelling going on here.
It is great. It's cartoony. It's fun. This book is a lot of just plain fun, and I really appreciate that. Also, Megan does get a tentacle arm, so put another tick on that bedpost, Claremont.
Oh, there's so much sexual subtext and sex stuff that's just frankly on the page. Like Courtney Ross being slipped out of her clothes into an Alice in Wonderland dress. We get this, flirting between Rachel and Kitty, flirting between Kitty and Courtney. You get this entire thing at the end with these cream pies, and literally the culmination of this scene, because Rachel has been transformed into the Grim Reaper, is that Kitty, let me read the dialogue here. I have to slip completely inside her body and open my mind totally to her telepathic power, which then results in Rachel and the Phoenix flame going off, and the sound effect is splug with cream pie filling shooting everywhere. I mean, this is...
Why is everyone covered in goop?
Yeah, this is a very successful... This is really the core of what this book wants to be, right? Is this sort of funny, action-packed sex farce, and it still packs that emotional wallop, because this is also the end of Courtney Ross, who gets replaced by...
Courtney Ross.
Yeah, go ahead.
Immediately murdered by a Nazi.
Right, because Saturnine shows up and takes her place and lures Brian.
Saturnine.
Yes.
The Nazi one, not Opoluna Saturnine, the generically fascist one.
Yes. But we have Brian at the end here succumbing to Saturnine's, sexual advances, and it's very alluring. It's very sexy, and it's also very tragic. And so you get all of these emotions all at once. And it's just, this is just great comics.
It's fun. I like it. Like, this is, when I think about Excalibur, this is the stuff I really like.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
it goes way off the rails. In Excalibur's such a weird book for me, because when I think about Excalibur and like what I really love about it, it really is issues like these, like the first chunk of issues. Uh, and then it's like, well, I can deal with the Nazi Excalibur stuff. I think it's a little weird, but I see what they're going for. And then it gets to the Cross Time Caper, where I'm about at that same place. And then it goes off the rails for a while until Alan Davis comes back, and then it goes off the rails again.
Yeah. Yep.
It's such a weird book.
Yeah. But I'm going to say,
What are you going to say?
This is probably a top 100 book, because
Ooh, hold on. I got to look at the list here.
All right.
Old list.
Let me just tell you the other Excalibur that's in the top 100. Okay. So at 54, we have The Sword is Drawn, which we have 4 slots ahead at 58 of the first 2 issues of Excalibur. Those are both obviously better than 4 and 5. That's 73. We have the Warlord Kurt arc, which I think is on par with these 2 issues, like very, very similar in terms of quality, in terms of success of what the book is aiming to be. And, actually, it's paying off. But I think these 2 issues in particular are better than at 80. We have Alan Davis's return to Excalibur, 41 to 47, the righteous return of you-know-who. So,
well, here's the thing for folks. We have ranked 1,164 different X-Men stories over the last so many years. Ranked them from best to worst, with the best being the House of X, Powers of 10. And we're just going to pick some numbers here. Let's go with, at 420, we have Old Man Logan Volume 2, 1 through 4, Berserker. At 699, we have X-Men No More Humans, the original graphic novel. Sorry, these X-Men comics are silly. At 1,000, we have X-Men The Hidden Years 6 and 7, and as the worst X-Men comic of all time, we have 2099 World of Tomorrow. Okay, you're in the top 100. You're saying that this is better than number 80, The Righteous Return of You-Know-Who, which
absolutely
is the first Alan Davis thing.
Yep. Yeah.
That would put it above Fantastic Four versus X-Men, The Man from Room X, X-Men number 4, the Global Economics Davos issue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
X-Men season 1, X-Men Red.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
This is about as good as it gets. Now, the Warlord Kurt 2 issue thing, I think, is about on par with these 2 issues in terms of quality, right? But I think it's got to go above 41 to 47, because there it's Alan Davis. It's really done well. It's still missing that little piece of Claremont, though. So I think it's got to go at bare minimum between those 2.
Okay, so here's where I'm at, Adam. I really like that Alan Davis stuff. I think there's a couple of things on here that I would have a hard time putting this above personally. Like, is this better than number 88, Madripoor Nights? Which I feel like is another, like, hey, this is kind of exactly what you're looking for out of this comic.
I think this is better than Madripoor Nights. I think this is a better comic. It's better crafted artistically. I think it's being much more sophisticated in terms of its storytelling. And I think we remember Madripoor Nights because of a couple of key things, right? That
cover was everywhere forever.
That cover, the first time we're really getting a glimpse as far back into Wolverine's history as we were. But I think the execution and the artistic talent that's on display in these 2 issues is higher, for sure.
If that's the case, I have a hard time putting this above the Davos issue, buddy. That's it. That's at 86. That the issue where Magneto is like, yeah, you want to know what caused the Bronze Age collapse? I was there. I can tell you. Or Magneto being like, I'm going to do capitalism so good that it's going to beat all of you at capitalism.
I'm not disagreeing. That's an excellent issue, but I would still say bare minimum this should be 79 based solely on the fact that it is so classic. You know, like these two issues really establish baselines for all of these characters moving forward for till the present, you know. I don't know. I know you've got a preference for, as you said at the top of the episode, the Krakoa stuff, but I don't know. I just think this is like when we talk about the Claremont era and we talk about the highs of what it is that he's capable of doing with an artistic partner. I mean, this is kind of where we're at, isn't it?
I'm going to say that I am doing this under protest, but yes, we can put it. You've made a very nice speech. We can make it our new number 80.
All right. So I am going to do something I usually do not do, which is create a new row in the spreadsheet for Excalibur.
Y'all, you're getting a lot of Excel content in this episode. And I know that's what everyone wants is more Excel content.
Okay. So we've Excalibur 4 and 5 arcade at number 80. And Zach, we are going to go downhill from there, my friend. Where are we going next?
Bud, what do you know about Claws?
Well, folks, Claws is a Marvel Knights series from 2006. It is written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray, and it is penciled and inked by a guy named Joseph Linsner. Now, Zach, do you know who Joseph Linsner is?
At this exact moment, no. And
okay.
That may come to bite me. Please elaborate. Adam.
I think this may actually be a key to unlocking what it is we're about to talk about. Because for folks who are not familiar with this series, it is a 3-issue miniseries about Wolverine and Black Cat being abducted by Arcade onto kind of like a dangerous game island, essentially. That's the easiest way I can put it.
Yeah.
But it is also very much a 2006 Marvel Knights book with lots of really poorly aged sex humor. So, Zach, are you familiar with the indie comics character known as Dawn?
Yes.
Okay.
Only because War Rocket Ajax had a running bit about them not knowing what Dawn was and then finally explaining what Dawn was. During which bit, our friend Robert Secundus did try and explain Dawn to them in an email.
Well, Dawn is the original creation of the artist of this book, Joseph Linsner. And for
this
folks,
is the Dawn guy.
This is the Dawn guy. Yes,
folks. If you don't know about Dawn, Dawn is a bad girl.
Dawn is a bad girl. Yes.
And I did see someone online today because I have somehow accidentally gotten comics content in my social media algorithm again.
Uh-oh.
Which I'm not happy about. But I saw a guy be like, here's some hot, tough comic book character girls that you should like. And it was just very unironically him going like, this is Elektra. This is Vampirella. This is Red Sonja. And I said, in what I think is one of the funniest things I've said this week, the TikTok youths are recreating Wizard Magazine from first principles. This is incredible to see.
Yes. So for folks who've never read Dawn or never looked at it, you may just want to look up the original 1989 to 1993 series, Cry for Dawn.
Is Cry for Dawn the anthology?
No, Cry for Dawn is in how many issues is Cry for Dawn? That is the original indie book that is 9 issues long.
No, Cry for Dawn is an anthology where Dawn is just a pinup girl on the covers. Are you thinking of Sirius Entertainment's Dawn Lucifer's Halo, the 6-issue limited series originally published as Dawn.
Well, let me see which one came out first.
Cry for Dawn came out first. I'm right here.
Okay.
Again, this was a running bit on a podcast that I have based a large chunk of my life on.
Yeah.
I am in the know on this particular thing. Because I always think of him as Joseph Michael Linsner of Dawn, not Joe Linsner.
Yeah, right. So I originally am reading this book.
Yeah, this is the same guy.
It's the same as that guy. So interesting.
Does
choice.
Dawn wear a shirt?
Dawn
I'm seeing
does wear a shirt. It's oftentimes removed for sensational
action
covers.
figures. Yeah. I am seeing her in full body armor, except for the breasts, which are in a see-through mesh top.
Yes.
And this is on the 1995 Dawn trading card.
Yes. The weirdest fun fact I learned about Dawn is that there is actually a who is the guy? Is it Gary Newman?
I'm just looking at a lot of Dawn covers right now. These are bad.
Well, that's going to skew your algorithm, brother. But yes, there was a 1997 Gary Newman album called Sacrifice that had a different album cover in the United States that did feature art by Joseph Listener that featured Dawn on it. So that should give you a sense of the weird sexual politics of this book, which wants to be a fun sex farce, much not unlike what we just talked about with Excalibur. Unfortunately, their version of it is like the first 5 pages of this book are Spider-Man being a sex pest to Black Cat. And that's supposed to be funny. And it's not.
It's okay. So
it's awful.
I know we need to talk about Dawn more. And everyone's craving that Dawn content. But this is a Jimmy Palmiotti book.
Yes.
Palmiotti, obviously one of the guys, along with Joe Quesada, who kickstarted the Marvel Knights initiative. Do you like Palmiotti's work? Like generally, is he a writer that you seek out?
Jimmy is what I remember growing up was that Jimmy was Joe Quesada's inker. That's how I knew him. So I'm not as familiar with him as a writer. I'm much more familiar with him as an artist. And, I believe he has, a much, who's Jimmy's very successful.
Amanda Connor?
Yes. Very talented writer. I know they've collabed on a lot of things. I remember distinctly meeting both of them at C2E2 one year. Very kind people. I can't really speak to their work that's closer to the present. I will say that
here's what I'll say. Their work that's closer to the present. You know the character Harley Quinn?
A lot of Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah. A lot of Harley Quinn stuff that I would say is Deadpool adjacent.
Yes, absolutely. And you can even see a little bit of that in one of the things that's happening here with Arcade. Arcade is not paired with Mrs. Locke in this particular miniseries. He is paired.
One thing about Jimmy Palmiotti, I'm so sorry. We can go back to what you're saying, but I need you to know that I just learned important Jimmy Palmiotti related news.
Help me out. Here, tell me.
Jimmy Palmiotti, obviously Marvel Knights guy.
Yes.
Did you know that Jimmy Palmiotti did co-write the 2007 Ghost Rider video game that was a God of War ripoff?
Love it.
Do you know who his co-writer was on that? Who he wrote that with? Garth Ennis.
Oh, God. Okay. Got to play that, I guess.
Bud. One, I've kind of wanted to play that since I was a child. Two,
now's your chance, buddy.
I do want to see what that game. I cannot imagine the mix of Garth Ennis and Jimmy Palmiotti is
Whiplash.
Anathema to me.
Yeah,
those are two very different. I guess they both like jokes that I don't like, but again, they like different jokes that I don't like. Like, even
Yeah.
that is so far removed.
What the heck was I just talking about before you said that?
Arcade's Miss Locke.
Oh yeah, he's not paired with Miss Locke. He is paired with White Rabbit, and this
Spider-Man character.
We were talking about getting Arcade wrong. This mini gets Arcade wrong. This is more of a Joker Harley relationship. It is not our typical Arcade scenario. He is just constantly berating her and calling her dumb and stupid until she finally gets her revenge at the end of this. But this
look, I think the idea of writing Arcade as a weird misogynist, I have no issues with. Like, I have issues with misogyny, obviously. I don't have issues with portraying Arcade in that way, because I think you can see some of that in what they do with Miss Locke, and then there's also already like in that Wolverine and Gambit Arcade miniseries, like there's a little bit of that in there. To begin with, a lot of bit of that because he does the murders.
I prefer.
It's not what I want from Arcade, though.
No, what I prefer in my Arcade and Miss Locke stuff is that the two of them get off on threatening to kill each other. Like, that's more fun. They need to be
toxic.
Yes,
in a flirty way.
Yes.
Here's the thing. This comes to my largest overall issue with Arcade. Y'all, he's stupid. He is so stupid. Let him be the pure, beautiful, stupid boy that he is. Arcade needs to be based around an arcade. He needs to be based around a carnival. He needs to be, if you want to update him, make him based around VR stuff. The idea of, I've got a place where I'll kill you, like I'm a horror movie villain. That's dumb. That's nothing. There's a million characters that could do that. There's not a million characters that can put everybody in a giant pinball machine.
That's right. It's fun.
Why are you trying to take this very single purpose tool and apply it everywhere? No. Anyone who is going to read a comic because Arcade is in it wants Arcade to be doing skee ball. He wants Arcade to maybe, if we're going to go crazy, maybe have Arcade do a 2D fighting game. Maybe have him have a giant thing where you got the lights spinning around and you have to stop the lights at a certain time. And if you get it right in there, you get all of the tickets. Those are all Arcade things. Those are free ideas that you can have. What I don't want to have Arcade doing is just being like, I'm an assassin for hire. And look, I'm a little goofy sometimes. And look, I get it. I actually think Avengers Arena was a decently written story. I'm just really confused about why Arcade was there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the initial thing
Arcade serious
that is supposed to be happening is that Black Cat and Wolverine have been abducted to be the most dangerous game to what looks like Kraven, but Kraven's dead, so that doesn't make sense.
It's a robot of Kraven?
Right.
Turns out not all of the people are robots.
No, there are actual hunters there, and they are, gonna chase them and kill them and whatever. So we get that's already just a very bizarre idea around Murder World that doesn't really work for me. Here's what I want to say. It took me a little bit to get used to Linsner's art, mainly because I think he's actually a pretty talented artist.
I think he's a talented artist.
Very talented artist. I think his Wolverine in particular is really good. He's got a very cool idea of what Wolverine looks like, that he's just this smashed faced in, like he doesn't wear his costume in this at all. He's just this guy that keeps getting burnt and boils and blown up and his hair is coming off, and he just has a really good handle on that character. What I think turned me off about this, aside from some of the like, oh, Black Cat fell in the water, now her nipples are hard, is Black Cat.
Okay, that's just look at any picture of Dawn. That's just
oh, I know. That's why they hired him. That's why they hired him. But
it's just, I wasn't going to bring it up.
The Black Cat costume in this mini is awful. It is absolutely terrible. It looks like crap. Its details look terrible.
Of a Spider-Man head. I'm not enough of a Spider-Man head to know, like, was this wholesale created for this, or was this just what she was wearing?
I don't know.
But it's one of the worst looking things I've ever seen.
It's really bad.
It makes Halle Berry's Catwoman costume look good.
Yeah, I would agree. It's you've got the mask, like the eye mask, you've got some fake ears, but then she's wearing this off the shoulder top, and then she has like brown shoulder and knee pads, and then these awful fur gloves that then have like, I don't know, they look like bone finger, like phalanges on top of the hands, and
no, because the Kevin Smith Black Cat comic, oh wait, no, that started in 2002. Never mind, it's just one of the issues came out in 2005. Or the big gap was 2005. I don't know what Black Cat was wearing. Sorry. I'm sorry for jumping in with some Black Cat facts that were just
that's fine. That's fine. I just think it looks bad. But honestly, there are, some points in this with the Wolverine stuff that I actually think are pretty well done. When I started reading this and I get the Spider-Man scene, I'm like, oh, I'm going to hate this. But there actually was like enough here where I wasn't like, oh, well, this is absolutely terrible.
I hear what you're saying about his Wolverine. Here's what I'll say. It does not work for this weird romance angle that he's pushing with Black Cat and Wolverine, because they both have claws.
Oh, yeah.
Because Wolverine in this is the ugliest man you've ever seen, and not in the hot ugly way that like Frank Whiteley draws Wolverine. He's just like, he looks like a caveman in this.
Yeah.
I've seen what Black Cat is attracted to.
Mm-hmm. It's not this.
It's not this. There may be a certain type of guy who, or gal, or anyone. There may be a certain person who is attracted to this Wolverine. But it's not, it doesn't work on that front. And because the flirty romance is such a big part of this, and frankly, such a poorly done part of this, because I don't feel like these characters have any chemistry whatsoever.
No.
Like zero chemistry.
Agreed.
And that's the biggest failing of this book, is that the two leads in your romantic action romp have no chemistry whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
That is terrible. In fact, honestly, as terrible as they are, White Rabbit and Arcade have better chemistry. And that's not a good sign for this book.
Yeah, it's just not a good sign when your book starts with that really bad Spider-Man scene and then ends with Savage Land inhabitants going ooga chaka around a fire with Arcade on there, implying that they're going to be eating him. And it's just like, I'm like,
okay, yes, but that page also does have White Rabbit looking just like a pinup model, right?
Yes, legs spread out. It's
channeling Lady Death.
It is a lot. Did you enjoy this? I don't feel like
no. I can tell you wholeheartedly, I did not. Jimmy Palmiotti is not my cup of tea. Joseph Michael Lindster's Dawn is not my cup of tea. In this comic, it's bad, and I don't think people should take time to read it, because there's like nothing here. That's the other thing about it. Like, take all of the like, oh, Zach and Adam have weird moral objections to it. No, it's just kind of a boring comic.
Yeah, like,
nothing
much happens.
End of this, it's nothing, and it's an annoyingly nothing comic. And that's, don't waste my time. Yeah. Don't waste my time. Why do you think 2099 World of Tomorrow is at the bottom of our list? For a lot of the reasons. One of the biggest reasons is it wasted my time a lot. And I got mad about it, and it's there now. Is this better or worse than Prophet Cable at 108?
At 1008?
At 1008, is this better or worse than Prophet Cable?
Wow. I mean, the art's better. The art is definitely better. But we have at 1021 Wolverine, Furnace of His Mind, Anvil of His Heart. I think that's better.
This isn't better. This isn't better than
I mean,
Furnace of His Mind.
I think that's
Heart,
better.
yeah.
I think that's better. So this is lower than 1021.
This is worse than Origin at 1027.
Yeah.
1028.
Is it better than at 1031, Wolverine 69 to 71, where he's in the Savage Land?
No.
Okay. It's all right. It is better than at 1040, the first time Wolverine fought Deadpool.
Sure.
I do think it's better than that.
This isn't as good as the time that Mystique eats a baby, which is how I have it written on the website, which I had forgotten about. And that's delightful for me because I normally keep the website without my commentary.
Is it better or worse than New Mutants 86 with Rusty and Skids versus Vulture?
It's better than that one.
It's better than that one. Okay.
That comic makes everyone mad.
Yeah.
Because it breaks up a boring story with a more different boring story with worse art.
All right. So our new 1038 is Claws, Volume 1. Now, Zach, I remember when we started talking about what we were doing this episode, you were like, haha, can you figure out the theme?
And you could not.
Which I could not, especially because the third series that we selected for this week is a series I didn't know existed, mainly because I dislike Alpha Flight so much. But this is the 1994 Simon Furman and Dario Carrasco Northstar series.
Now, you're a Transformers guy. So, like, when you saw Simon Furman on this, were you like, okay, hold on.
I was.
What do we got here?
I was. I got to page 2, and I was like, Simon Furman? Okay. Because,
and you got to page 3 and you were introduced to Weapon Prime, Double Trouble, Thunderstrike, Yeti, and Kill Spree.
Also was excited to see X-Force's own. Because I remember when Weapon Prime came out and Greg Capullo drew them and you were like, oh, okay. Okay, this could be fun. They're terrible.
They're the worst. They're the absolute worst.
Yeah.
This is a weird comic. So a couple of things about this. First, I want to give it its flowers. The cover is so good.
All four covers.
Take away the bad logo. It is all black cover and Northstar's on it, but they're using the negative space of like the black in his costume. So the only thing that is rendered is the white parts of his costume as well as his face, and it looks really cool. It's very graphic from like a design standpoint, and like I can imagine, especially in 1994, this is going to stand out on a shelf.
Oh yeah,
like I think this is a killer cover design.
A+
on that part. This is also coming out directly after, or very soon after, one Alpha Flight is canceled, but more than that, after Northstar came out as queer. After his I am gay. I just did the hand thing. No one can see that. this is how his hand looks on in that picture right at him.
Yeah, right.
Right at you. I'm gay.
Yep.
It's right after that. Now,
yes.
That caused a massive uproar on the Marvel scale of things.
Yep.
Mostly editorial was like, why did we do this? This is terrible. Let's never talk about it again. If you want to get an inside view, editor Chris Cooper did a whole chapter about this in his book that he got after that lady was racist to him for bird watching.
Yeah. This is mentioned vaguely once.
That's the thing.
It's vaguely mentioned once, and you can also
that he did something in go read this issue.
And you can also read into some of the stuff that's happening in this book that makes it kind of interesting, right?
Can I tell you exactly what this feels like?
Yeah.
You remember that hot minute after Kitty Pryde kissed that tattoo artist? And then they were like, but we can't obliquely say it anymore?
Yeah.
It feels exactly like that.
Yes.
Like someone got scared about conservative backlash and then was like, we can't ever deal with this ever again. This is never coming up. So Northstar in this, there are the same John Burney allusions to him being gay as there always were. But it feels so backwards when you're like, but he just said, I am gay.
Yeah. There's a reading of this book the first issue starts with Northstar gay clubbing in Ibiza, right? Like
Yes.
that is not how it's set up, but that is what's technically happening there. And
Yeah.
his male friend can't keep up with him. Right. There's another scenario in which, he is rescuing a former friend of his, and it's really kind of insinuated, if you read between the lines, that the three of them maybe had a relationship and that was a sexual awakening for him. If you want to read into it, but it's not deliberate, and it is not in your face in the way that Alpha Flight issue was.
It's impossible not to read it through that lens, and I think it's hard to be like, yeah, and that's wasn't the intent of the reading on this. Like, there's absolutely a reading that they're like, hey, Simon Furman's doing his best to make this the comic that he thinks it should be, but he is hamstrung by editorial edicts being like, you cannot ever mention that he's gay again.
Yeah.
Ever.
The other major problem with this in terms of its storytelling is that, the covers aside, Dario Carrasco is not a good artist.
Not doing a great job.
Very, very Liefeld coded. He does have a much better sense of anatomy than Liefeld ever will, but at the same time, it is still very bad art. And so
his anatomy is better, but his rendering is significantly worse.
Yes. And it makes for sequences in which, honestly, some of the action becomes a little bit illegible, and I don't know where the characters are or how they're interacting or what they're supposed to be doing, which is hard for me to wrap my head around, because this is, okay. So the basic story here, and this is where we've got to get into some history too. The basic story of this is that there is a human supremacist who has hired Arcade to weaken Northstar to the point where the human supremacist can beat him up, right? But Arcade is going to do this by reminding Northstar of his childhood history with Quebecois separatists known as the FLQ. Now, Zach,
I don't know enough about. I think we've made it clear on this podcast. I don't know enough about the Quebecois separatist movement to have any strong opinion on it, except for generally making fun of the French at all times.
So I read up on this a little bit because I was curious. I was just in Canada the other day. We were visiting some of Anna's family and friends over the Memorial Day weekend, and the Quebecois separatists were a really messed up thing that happened in the late 60s. They were responsible for hundreds of bombings in an attempt to try and get Quebec to separate from the rest of Canada. And it got to the point where they actually murdered the Quebec labor minister, Pierre Laporte, after they had kidnapped him. And then when the negotiations went bad, they strangled him to death. And some of these bombs actually killed other people. It is absolutely insane that this comic book ties Northstar as a kid to this particular political movement. It doesn't really make sense, even with the sliding timeline. But
and there's another read that he's brought into this by a charismatic older man who teaches him the way of the world, which again, when you're reading this through the very Northstar is gay lens, adds another possibly very realistic, but also pretty darn weird angle on top of all of this.
Yes. Can we just pause for 1 second? I want to get Anna in here. She has a story related to the FLQ that
I did not know we were going
that
to
she
get
wanted to.
surprise Anna talking
Yes,
about Quebecois
not
separatists.
Excalibur. She doesn't want to talk about Excalibur. She has an anecdote that she wants to share about the FLQ. And I
Please
think
bring Anna
here
in.
she is. Here she is.
She's waiting behind the door. This is incredible.
All right,
Hi,
here you
Anna.
go.
Oh no.
Here you
I don't
go.
need to be
So
all
I gave a
right.
little history lesson on the FLQ.
I was very proud of him. I told him that he was going to have to look up some information about it. But I
know
him,
nothing about this. So enlighten me, Anna. I'd love to hear this anecdote.
Well, I did make Adam also watch the clip of Marvel Comics character Pierre Elliott Trudeau telling the news media, "Just watch me," when they asked how far he would go to stop the crisis, which was a very famous moment in Canadian history. But no, the personal story I was going to share is that my mother would tell this story all the time because she thought it made her a really cool guy, which is that she got arrested during the FLQ crisis when she was living in Montreal, because they were sort of rounding up apartment buildings of countercultural students and whatnot and making them spend the night in jail. She was not affiliated with the crisis in any way. Her last name was Villeneuve, but she was Anglophone, meaning she was faux français, as people would say back then. But yeah, she thought it made her a really cool guy. It really doesn't, because getting arrested isn't actually very cool, especially during an event that crushed people's civil liberties and remains controversial to this day. But it's very funny to me that my mom thought this made her a cool guy and would repeat it anytime the FLQ crisis or Pierre Trudeau were mentioned in our household. So I just wanted to add that little personal anecdote to your discussion today.
Thank you. That's a beautiful moment to be added to the tapestry of this podcast.
Isn't it?
I have no commentary on this because, again, I am just taking the position of I don't know enough about the Quebecois FLK separatist movement to say anything. While
I'm here, people should go read my essay for the middle spaces on Excalibur number 4 and go listen to the Gosh Golly Wow episode on Excalibur number 5, which
we already plugged your podcast
for the Gilbert Seldes Prize for Public Scholarship, and I'm out.
Bye, Anna. Bye, Anna. That's a wild story.
Amazing cameo. Yeah, I mean, it was funny reading about this and then hearing that her mom had gotten arrested because they were just rounding up the hippies. Anyway.
Again, it's so weird because even this story, making that part of his motivation, that's insane.
It is, and it's also really crazy that they can expect people to understand what it's even referring to. I don't think it's ever explicitly named. And if you're not familiar with this, I mean, it's an important piece of Canadian history, but if you're not familiar with that, you have no idea.
Most Americans are not familiar with important pieces of Canadian history. I can speak from experience on this one.
No, I had no idea what this was. I knew that there was a Quebecois separatist movement, but I didn't realize it had gotten this violent. So to see a reporter confront Northstar in the first issue about a bus explosion, it's unclear. When did this bus explosion take place? Eventually, we learn in the fourth issue that Northstar actually prevented an explosion that might have hurt people, and he saved lives. And this is kind of how he became a hero, and that's great. But unfortunately, instead of it, there's a really interesting story there that could have been explored. The rest of this is just a poorly drawn Northstar running from country to country, from Weapon Prime, from Circus Folks, and Arcade popping up every once in a while in his ice cream truck.
Why is Arcade in this? It's insane.
It doesn't.
There's no reason for
it doesn't
Arcade
work.
to be. He's not doing any arcade things. That's the thing. He's not doing any of the arcade things.
No, this is how to get him completely wrong.
He's doing a Bane thing. He's doing Bane's plan from Breaking Batman's Back, from Nightfall.
Yeah.
He's doing the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Arcade shouldn't do that. Arcade's a goofy little guy. Now, I will say, what is very funny is when Northstar is walking to that human supremacist office and he's saying, I guess I'm expected, but by whom? Which villain has returned phoenix-like from the ashes of some previous defeat? And then the guy says, I am Carl Carriage. And much like myself, Northstar says, who? Do I know you, sir? Which is incredible because one, no, we don't know him. Northstar doesn't know him. He's just some guy. Two, why would you write that as your plot?
Yeah, it's weird.
Why would your plot be? And there's some guy who is oddly homophobic coded because, again, he makes a veiled things like, you're different. And maybe it's a mutant thing and it's played like it's a mutant thing, but it's also subtextually like, and you're the gay mutant and we can't have that around these parts.
Well, and I don't know if you felt like it was leading to this, but I kind of thought, as poorly as it's structured, that the person who did hire Arcade may have turned out to be the mentor figure that's referenced earlier in the series, never mentioned again.
Because the mentor figure's like daughter or niece or something, I forget who, is a friend of Northstar's who has been kidnapped by Arcade. Like those are strands that are being pulled through all of this. Yeah. And it's just some guy.
It's really unfortunate. I mean, I have read a good amount of Simon Furman Transformers stuff, and it's a lot of fun, and he's very good at it. This is not good. And I have to wonder how much of this may have been shaped editorially and changed based on what we were talking about, like at the very top of our conversation about this mini. This just doesn't work.
I don't know. It's bad. This is not a good comic. I had never read it, which is an oddity for me of not reading anything X-Men related. But to be fair,
it is
This is also Alpha Flight.
Yeah. It's Alpha Flight.
I like how we use Alpha Flight as nearly a slur on this podcast.
It's terrible.
Friggin' Alpha
People
Flight.
are like, cover more Alpha Flight. No, thank you.
Do people ask you? Because no one asks me things anymore. And I'll tell you, all I'm saying, the people who want us to cover more Alpha Flight, they ain't giving us $5.
Patreon's right there, folks.
Patreon's right there, folks. We'd have a hard time arguing.
Yeah. Oh boy. Where's this gonna go? Good God. We do have what's the Alpha Flight that we have on here?
Who cares?
This is worse.
X-Men Alpha Flight Volume 2 is at 1022.
This is worse than that.
Something.
This is worse than that. I also think it's worse than a 1058 Alpha Flight 17, which is the retelling of Uncanny X-Men 109.
Yeah, this one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
This is, man, I'm trying to think. I'm looking at this. Is this worse than Typhoid Fever at 1084-ish?
Yeah. This is just like poorly crafted. It's very poorly drawn. So it's worse than 1090 Mojo Worldwide.
I would. Okay. At 1117, we have Chuck Austin's Dominant Species.
Yeah.
At 1118, we have Sisterhood from Uncanny by Fraction in Land.
See, we're like, once you start getting into that part of the list, this stuff really starts to get kind of offensive. And like,
what's offensive about Dominant Species? I'm forgetting things, I'm sure.
I mean, it's just poorly done, but you know, I'm just saying, like, we're getting into this kind of part of the list. I think this is probably like at 1131 is Hyperstorm from Fantastic Four.
This is better than Hyperstorm.
Like, we're on that level of bad storytelling, bad craft.
This is better than the first Banshee. This is better than X-Men 28, which is the first appearance of Banshee. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, that's fine.
This isn't as good as 1120-ish, which is the Silver Age Count Nefarious story.
No, it's not that good. But it doesn't have swastikas all over it like Deadpool versus X-Force. So maybe
it's also not drawn by like Pepper
I know.
I know. That's the thing. I understand that it is weird that Deadpool works for both the Nazis and the Confederates in that comic, and I'm fully against both of those parties. Pepe Larraz is drawing it.
I know. All right.
And I do think that a charitable reading of that comic is not that comic is supporting that Deadpool is doing these things.
At
It's
11:20
because he's Deadpool. Yes.
I know. At 11:24 is Wolverine Special Volume 1, 102.5. I think that was the birthday issue. That's not very good. With the cannibals?
No, that has Warwolf. That's the one with Warwolves.
Oh, right. Okay. It's like a dangerous game situation, right? Is that what that one is?
Let's make it better than that.
I agree. All right. So this is going to be our new 1124, and that is the Northstar mini. You can't read this on Marvel Unlimited, so you got to go looking for it.
You can find it. You can find it places. But folks, that's what we have today. I know this was an arcade themed episode, and one of those stories does use arcade very well. The other ones are bad.
Yeah, not so much.
Sometimes comics are bad. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm upset about it too.
Yeah, but
do you know what I'm not upset about?
I'm not upset about this conversation. It was a fun episode.
Oh, yeah, that. I'm never upset about a conversation with my friend. I am sometimes. No, I'm never upset about our Patreon people. They just sometimes make me do things that I would prefer not to. But if you want to be like them and do something that we prefer not to, you can go to patreon.com/BattleOfTheAtom, reach deep down to your hearts and pocketbooks and be like, hey, folks, do you really want to talk about Alpha Flight? And I'll be saying there better be some mutant characters in this Alpha Flight comic. If it's just the weird Canadians, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Anyway, that's patreon.com/BattleOfTheAtom. Adam, what do you got going on?
So you did mention the X-Men 92 season 2 trailer. So the second,
did I?
Second, it dropped today. Austin and I went through second by second and did a breakdown of about every Easter egg that we could find in those 2 minutes and change. So if you want to look at that, that's on Comics XF.
Can I tell everyone my feelings?
Yeah. Get it out there, man. I know you didn't like it.
Not feeling it.
Yeah.
I got nothing for it. It's not what I want.
That's okay.
What I want.
That's
not
okay.
Gonna be what I want, and that's fine. But it's not what I want.
Yeah, I think it was it Jamie McKelvey? No, who was it that posted today about reviews?
I don't know. I'm not on the internet. You're gonna have to field this one. Adam. Your curiosity is gonna have to be sated by your own exploration.
Yeah, hold on a sec. There was a good thread today. Jamie McKelvey.
The Thread site?
Or
no.
The
Everything app?
This
or
is Blue
on
Sky.
Blue Sky, the one where people are mean to me.
Yeah, Blue Sky. Jamie McKelvey said, I've said this before, but since the topic of bad reviews is going around, as a creator, a bad review generally tells you one of 2 things. Either something you already know about what you need / want to improve on, or something about the reviewer, i.e. their tastes don't align with yours, or your case, in this case, they're looking for something else that is not what you're doing. So I thought that was an interesting thing.
I am looking for something that they're not doing. And I am not professionally reviewing the show. So I don't have to think critically about my feelings. I can just feel them and not have to be like, well, is this the best way to approach this piece of media?
Yes.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I actually did.
I'm broken.
I did kind of enjoy that trailer, and I'm sure that I will have very mixed feelings about the show as I did with the first season, but I'll tune back in.
I like how you're going into this being like, I'm going to have some complex feelings about this.
I'm a sucker. Let's try it. Zach, what are we doing next week?
Something.
Get it? That was a good joke.
Get it?
You got me. Yeah. I get it.
We're like Benjamin Grimm, our friend.
Yeah.
Played by the guy from The Bear, but not that guy. The other guy, Richie. Yeah. Played by Richie from The Bear. Not as good as Michael Chiklis. I'm going to say this up front.
Wow.
Michael Chiklis was a good thing.
Wow. Okay.
Better than whoever played the Thing in that bad movie that I didn't watch.
That bad movie that you didn't watch? Oh.
Fan 4 Stick.
Wait, which?
No, I did watch that movie.
You did?
No. Yeah,
Are you talking about First Steps?
No, I'm talking about Fan 4 Stick.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Fantastic Four movie that Josh Trank did.
Oh,
it has Michael B. Johnson.
I never watched that. Jordan.
Or Michael B. Jordan. Excuse me.
Jordan.
I am so sorry to my fourth favorite Friday Night Lights player. Hold on. No.
He's counting.
He just doesn't have.
He's counting.
I mean, it's Lance.
Okay.
It's Saracen.
Right.
Tim Riggins.
Yeah. Wow. Jordan.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite character from the last season of the show.
Okay. Great.
Favorite football playing character from the last season of the show.
Yes.
Best characters are, of course, Coach and Mrs. Coach. We all know this.
Oscar award-winning Michael B. Jordan.
Insane how much talent that show had. And someone tried to argue with me. It's like, that show was super popular when it first came out. No, it wasn't.
No, it got punted to DirecTV, remember?
DirecTV had the exclusive on that one after season 3 because season 1 was well received, but not super well watched. And they renewed it for season 2, which had issues before the writer's strike, and the writer's strike just made it worse. And then season 3 brings it back to form. By that point, no one's watching it.
See, this is why you tune in, folks. You got to hear the history.
This is why you tune in to talk about NBC shows from the mid 2000s. We could, but if we need to go off, we can talk about Pushing Daisies real soon. That was ABC. I apologize.
That was NBC.
That was ABC. That was the American Broadcasting Channel, not the National Broadcasting Channel.
That's right.
Adam, we're talking about the thing. That's all.
Great. No, you got.
Till then, folks, we have to finish the show. Yes, I'm sorry. Till then, folks, this has been Battle of the Atom. We hope you survived the experience.
Get it!